You probably fall into one of these 4 body types, but have you ever wondered why and how to actually change it? To find out, I brought in men and women of completely different body types, measured their exact muscle and fat levels, and even used the world's most accurate metabolism test to find out how many calories they actually burn and eat.
You actually eat calories per day.
Oh my goodness.
Calories per day.
By the end of this video, you'll know which body type you fall under, why your body works the way it does,
I would think that I have a slow metabolism.
and the simple training and diet approach it needs to actually see progress.
I'm so jealous.
This is Aaron. He is very lean at just 13% body fat, but his total muscle mass is below average.
Would you say you're somebody who has a hard time sitting still?
Yep, 100%.
Aaron falls into our first body type, the skinny physique. This is a naturally lean, slender look characterized by a smaller frame, low muscle mass, and less fullness in your shoulders, arms, and legs.
Personally, this is the body type I started with. I played sports as a kid and I felt like I could eat whatever I wanted without gaining weight. But when I started lifting to build muscle, my body was slow to change.
This is Maria. Weighing in at just 97 pounds, her goal is to build strength.
Mainly in my upper body, like my arms I feel are really weak. I want just to feel stronger in general.
But because of their low muscle mass, they both struggled when we tested their strength. And for Maria, these results were especially concerning.
So your number came in at 5.09. If this number is below 5.45, the person is at risk for what's called sarcopenia, which is as you age, you lose muscle.
Maria's DEXA also revealed a second concern. Her bone density is lower than 72% of others her age, which puts her at a greater risk of fractures, especially as she gets older. I bring this up because while you can be healthy and active across multiple body types, there were different health risks we found that seem to affect certain body types more than others.
I'm borderline diabetic, says my doctors.
Even those who on the outside look fit and healthy. I'll show you how to prevent each of these risks at the end when I explain the diet and training plan I'd recommend for each body type. But first, let's get to our next body type, skinny fat. Now in clothes, this actually looks quite similar to the skinny body type, but underneath it, there's a softer physique carrying excess fat, especially around the belly and love handles.
When I moved to California, it was like a flip. Like I just started gaining weight.
And David's experience isn't unique. Research shows that while your body weight fluctuates up and down all the time, the average person quietly gains about 1 to 2 pounds every year. And if you're not lifting weights or not lifting properly, most of that extra weight is stored as fat, which explains why the skinny fat body type is so common, especially when you're younger. But it doesn't just look one way. You can be on the leaner end of skinny fat like Dennis and Grace, or be carrying slightly more body fat. But what everyone in this group has in common is below average muscle mass. And we're calculating this using everyone's fat-free mass index, which is a score that basically reveals how jacked you are. You take your body's total lean mass, which is just your body weight minus how much fat you're carrying, and then you divide that by your height squared. Now, average fat-free mass for men is right around 18, while the average score for women is just below 16. And you may have noticed that 2 of our subjects in this group happen to be identical twins, Paola and Paola.
And I'm curious, since you guys are twins, genetically identical, do you have any theory as to why there's a slight discrepancy in your body fat right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a theory. I was depressed and I gained a lot of weight. I was eating a lot of food and a lot of takeout. Boneless wings, fried sushi. Fried sushi,
okay.
Yeah, I was having fried sushi.
And while Paola can point to a single event that caused her weight gain, everyone I spoke with seemed to have their own theories as to why they have their current body type.
I would think that I have a slow metabolism.
You know, Uber Eats, going to restaurants, takeout.
I work in retail. That comes like 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah.
I'm on my feet pretty much the whole time.
But how many of them are actually correct?
To find out, 1 month before filming, I had 9 of our subjects complete a test that not only reveals their actual metabolism, but also lets us predict exactly how many calories they've actually been eating.
But here's the catch. None of our subjects know what this test was for. So they have no idea that I know their exact calories in and calories out for the past 2 weeks. And I'm curious to find out how well each of our subjects know their own habits.
Are you serious?
What? Oh my God.
I will say there were a few surprises in the results we got back.
Damn, that's really eye-opening.
But we still have 2 more body types to cover, with the next one being the most common body type for gym bros, bulky.
How many was that?
I counted 14.
This is Sahil, and he falls under our third body type, bulky. Unlike the skinny fat group, this body type carries an above average amount of muscle, which explains how Sahil easily jumped to the top of the leaderboard in our not so scientific strength test, only to immediately have his record beat by Eric, whose fat free mass index was just 2 points shy of what most people consider the natural ceiling.
That's like pro bodybuilder high.
But while Sahil and Eric have above average levels of muscle mass, they also have slightly above average levels of body fat, both in the high 20s, which hides a lot of their muscle definition. And while bulky builds are more common in men due to higher levels of testosterone, that doesn't mean women can't fall into a similar category as well.
These are too easy. Look at these guns. We need a side angle of this. And you don't do curls.
No.
This is Melody, and her goal is to start slimming down now that she's made great progress after 5 years of weight training.
Your body fat percentage is 33.7%.
Oh,
Why'd you say it like that? Is that higher or lower?
I thought it would be higher.
And your muscle score, fat free mass index, is 18.5. That is above average. That actually puts you, there's like a ranking and it puts you at like advanced gym user.
So cool.
Yes.
But the fat loss plan I'd build for Melody is a lot different from what I propose for our final body type, which is categorized by a significantly high level of body fat, over 30% for men and over 40% for women.
Your body weight is currently 323 pounds and your body fat is 51%.
Wow.
Is that higher or lower than what you expected?
I didn't know what it was going to be, but that's up there.
I really appreciate you even just being part of this video. The fact that you took your shirt off in front of everybody here, like that takes a lot of courage, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
But the good news is, despite not working out, both AJ and Michelle actually have more muscle than most of our other subjects.
Easy, too. Dude, I think you should try 40s. So you actually have more muscle than every girl who's here today and most of the guys. Which is crazy
don't work out.
considering you do not work out.
I gotta carry this
doesn't work out at
body
all.
around.
But the downside is, all the extra weight they are carrying can make staying active much harder.
I had plantar fasciitis for a long time.
Yeah.
I was working in the culinary industry, so I was always on my feet, and I would have such bad plantar fasciitis that I couldn't stand or walk like after a shift.
Fortunately, each body type that we covered is going to come with its unique advantages and challenges when it comes to building their training plans. And based on the visuals, you might already be able to tell which body type you are. But if you want to figure it out through a calculation,
You can use this table here to figure it out. You just look at your body fat percentage and your BMI, which is your weight divided by your height squared.
but regardless of where you fall, most people's goal is to build more muscle while losing their excess fat. And if you do this properly, you'll land in what I call the athletic physique, which is defined by an above average amount of muscle paired with low body fat, usually below 18% body fat for guys and below 28% for women. But as you can tell, there's a pretty wide range of what athletic can look like depending on how much muscle you have. Max and Bailey are both aspiring bodybuilders, whereas Ethan and Nicole are both incredibly lean, but aren't actually carrying that much more muscle than some of our skinnier body types. And while I will be diving into each body type's step-by-step solution to build muscle and lose fat, I should mention that many of our subjects were already perfectly happy with where they're at.
To be honest, I'm pretty happy where I am right now. Ideally, like another 5 pounds more muscle would be nice. Pretty satisfied.
When you're doing like heavy labor, being lean really isn't very good.
Yeah.
It's like, it's hard on the joints. You know, mass moves mass, right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
carrying a paddle, it's 80 pounds. Well, do you want to be a 150-pound person? You want to be a 200-pound person, right? Yeah.
So as long as you're eating a balanced diet and staying active, you don't have to look a certain way. But in our case, nearly everyone we spoke to wanted to improve their bodies in some way. In the end, I'll be selecting one subject to personally work with on a year-long experiment to completely transform their body. But first,
I want to find out how much each person's body type is determined by their activity level, their diet, or their natural genetics. What nobody knows who's watching this is that you two are actually sisters.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what it's been like growing up. Was there like a big lifestyle difference, activity difference?
Our mom enrolled us in like every sport was the same.
We played on the same team sometimes.
Same meals. It's not like I made my own meals or anything. We actually did everything like quite the same. My guess is like there's like this side of the family, like
Our mom's side of the family.
it's like very like there's
Strong
a lot of
farmer,
like farmer, yeah.
working with
and then
women.
there's the other side that my mom also has. that like there's a little bit of thin, and my dad's side has a little bit of a thinner build.
And while bringing in siblings and even twins to learn from is interesting, I want to take this a step further. So I had 9 of our subjects complete what's called the doubly labeled water test. This test has been used to study the metabolisms of astronauts up in space all the way to remote tribesmen living in Tanzania. And it works by first having subjects drink the most expensive water in the world because it contains an isotope. And once that isotope makes it through your system and back out in the form of a urine sample, depending on how much that isotope has changed or broken down, researchers can predict how many calories your body burns at rest, how many calories you burn through activity, and even how many calories you actually eat.
All right, guys, so I have your lab results right here. I want you to organize yourselves based on who you think was eating the most calories versus the least calories. And if you guys get this correct, you're each gonna get $100 cash, okay? So take some time, chat amongst yourselves, and put yourself in the order.
I feel like you eat high because of like your sports, because you're a fighter, right?
I train, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that we have to kind of think about mass here too.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, generally speaking, whoever eats the most calories would maybe have the most mass on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do we want to go most over there?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, well, you're a lot taller too.
True.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel like I have to be here, right?
This is your final answer.
I'm happy with this.
Okay, I think we stick with this, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys were kind of close, okay? David, if you switch with Sahil. So you guys switch spots, and you guys put Aaron last. Aaron, I want you to come over here.
Are you serious? You were right. You were right. What the heck? Are you serious?
Aaron eats over 4,000 calories a day.
What? I do?
4,230 calories a day.
Aaron, our skinny body type, is literally eating 1,000 calories more than AJ every day, despite weighing half as much. And when I compared Aaron's diet to my own, he was eating more calories than I would consume even on the most aggressive bulk.
Do you think like you and your family are gifted with like a super metabolism?
Yeah, I don't know, it's hard to say, but to be honest, I think especially my mom's side of the family, I'd say so.
But when I started asking Aaron about his daily activity, things started to make sense.
I work in retail. That comes like 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah.
I'm on my feet pretty much the whole time, moving around, lifting stuff around. I want to say like my phone's tracking like a good 10 to 12,000 steps on average when I am working. But pretty much every day, if I'm not working or if I'm not training, I try to do something pretty active. If I'm not doing anything, have time off work, go play some pickleball outside, go longboarding if the weather's nice.
Now what's interesting is based on his test, Aaron's resting metabolism was actually quite low. He only burns about 1,500 calories just from living every day. But this is actually normal considering his size. In fact, when we tally the results, everyone's resting metabolism scaled almost perfectly with their body weight. The more you weigh, the more you tend to burn just by existing. Which might explain why out of all the 9 subjects we tested, not one person had an abnormally fast or slow metabolism. So in Aaron's case, he was staying lean because he was burning almost 3,000 calories a day from exercise, bumping his total daily calorie burn up to over 4,000 calories a day. Maria, on the other hand, who is far less active than Aaron, she had a different cause keeping her skinny.
Your actual intake was 2,080 calories. That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Compared to everyone else that I went through, that was actually one of the closer ones.
Wow.
Which just tells me that you are very mindful of what you're eating.
Maria actually had strong awareness of how many calories she was consuming each day.
But I try to eat like really balanced meals. I try to cook at home during the week. During the weekend, we usually go out. I don't snack a lot though, and I don't like sweets at all.
In fact, both Aaron and Maria were eating and burning almost the exact same amount of calories across the entire week, which shows how consistent their habits are around exercise and diet, preventing either one of them from gaining weight. However, when we compare our skinny group to our skinny fat body type, the results at first seemed confusing.
Paola, yours was 2,072 calories.
Oh.
Paola, your actual intake was 1,400 calories. 1,438.
What?
Remember, this was during the testing period, right? And so you actually eat quite a bit lower than the amount of calories that you burn per day.
Meanwhile, David's results were just as shocking for other reasons.
So you predicted that you were eating 2,000 calories per day. That's what you predicted.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Sounds perfect?
Yeah.
So you were actually eating 3,300 calories per day.
Oh no.
What was happening?
David was eating enough to gain an extra pound of fat every week, and he was our second guy in a row who was eating far more than he predicted. So in order to find out what was causing such a disparity, I put together a snack table in our waiting room with 2 hidden cameras to find out which foods our subjects choose to eat.
You do.
Based on our little spy cam here, it looks like you have a sweet tooth and you love your snacks and chips.
I do love my snacks.
The twins, they both pretty much avoided the snack table altogether, and their daily calories were actually lower than Maria's. So what was going on? Well, after digging deeper, I did find out they've both recently been watching what they eat and consistently losing weight.
Well, now I actually care about what I put into my body, you know, and now I'm really, I'm very much active.
However, because they're not strength training very much, I fear the weight they do lose will be mostly muscle rather than fat, keeping them skinny fat instead of the toned look that they're after. And one thing I did notice is that neglecting hard strength training was actually a common trend amongst everyone in this group.
I've tried going to the gym and I just don't see results, so I usually just stop because I don't have the consistency, right? So it's mostly running.
And since unlike the twins, David was actually gaining weight, the lack of strength training means nearly all of that weight gain is getting stored as fat, which helps explain why David says each year his body just keeps getting softer and softer. And for the skinny fat subjects who are strength training,
I get to a point and and then I'll stop.
Yeah. Dennis is somebody who he loves to be comfortable, so as soon as you take that comfort away from him, he will run away and cry. But Dennis, that's the key, man.
It's just grabbing those heavier weights that make me feel like I look like puffy and bulky after.
Really?
Which I need to...
But have you ever looked puffy and bulky after?
Probably not. Probably not.
this is a big contrast from our bulky body type, where all their extra muscle actually came with some serious advantages.
Here I have it as 2,600 calories.
Okay.
That's what your ring predicted your metabolism was at. Your actual metabolism, or how many calories your body burns per day, 3,033 calories.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm trusting my ring now. I don't know if I should trust my ring as much.
So one thing I noticed is our bulky subjects burn way more calories compared to our skinny fat group.
You actually burn 3,274 calories per day.
What?
Yes, you have like a very, very high daily calorie burn.
And as we dug into the data, we found a couple reasons why this was happening. First, all of our bulky subjects were already living a relatively active life, with strength training and usually some form of cardio or step counting.
I love weight training, not powerlifting, just like classic standard weight training. I like martial arts, boxing, and kickboxing.
I try to get at least like 10,000 steps a day.
Secondly, as you know by now, the more you weigh, the more calories you tend to burn just from living. But this is especially true if that extra weight is muscle. And that's because muscle is metabolically active and requires 3 times as much energy to maintain compared to fat, with every pound of muscle burning about 10 extra calories per day just sitting there. It may not sound like much, but when you're comparing someone with 20 or even 30 pounds more muscle, it starts adding up. And you put these factors together, and explains why someone like Melody can lose fat on a diet of 2,500 calories a day, while Paola would have to stick to just 1,500 calories to lose the same amount. But if that's the case, then what's stopping our bulky group from burning through fat like they're on easy mode?
We love food. Me and my husband love food. So it's like, it's so hard. Working out is so simple, but food is so challenging.
So if we treat Aaron as an outlier and remove him, we can actually see a clear trend in how much each group was underestimating how many calories they were eating based on their body fat.
So you predicted that you eat between 1,800 to 2,200 calories per day. You actually eat 3,000 calories per day.
Oh my goodness.
I'm curious, why the discrepancy?
I don't know.
I live like downtown, so it's easy to walk out and go to a new restaurant or just Uber eat something 2 to 3 times a week.
Your actual calorie intake, 2,837 calories.
Okay. That's a lot higher than I thought.
So well, 500 calories more.
But for some of our participants, what exactly they were overeating with led to some alarming health concerns.
The visceral fat. So this is the fat that's like deep within your abdomen, in your organs. You had a little bit over 1,000 grams, which is like moderate to high risk.
Visceral belly fat is often called the hidden fat of your body, as it builds up around your organs, mainly from what you eat.
What does a day of eating look like for you right now?
Wake up, milk, chocolate milk maybe. Lunch will be, I mean, whatever, you know, tuna sandwich, pizza, go to the bar, grab a burger, and then dinner will be like, I don't know, another pizza maybe, or even like steak and eggs.
You're living the dream, man. So basically, you just eat and just train hard.
100%.
Eating lots of fatty foods and sugar can build up your visceral fat over time. And unlike normal fat, visceral fat is alive. It spits out harmful chemicals that can lead to disease and even early death. It also makes your gut look and feel bigger. But the good news is, with a proper diet and training plan, it is actually the fastest form of fat to burn off. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like once we get to the solutions for each body type. But before we get there, we do have one more body type to cover. And this one had some of the most unexpected data of the entire experiment.
You were actually eating 3,900 calories per day.
I love a double cheeseburger.
I don't know what to say. Like, I do.
Damn, that's really eye-opening.
Meanwhile, AJ was eating almost 800 calories above what he had guessed.
I do mainly cook at home, but I also eat out quite a bit. A lot of snacks. I do eat a lot of snacks.
Yeah.
Just that one. Like a lot of chocolates and like caramel stuff.
I've never been conscious about what I'm eating or anything nutrition value or...
And while having a slow metabolism wasn't actually contributing to their weight gain, there are two genetic factors that still could be giving them a disadvantage. For one, when we look back at the footage from a hidden camera, neither Michelle or AJ grabbed food from the snack table. But then when I watched Michelle sitting and waiting, I noticed that her body was completely still. And when you compare Michelle to someone like Bailey, look at the difference. Bailey is constantly moving and fidgeting, even when her body is trying to sit still. Now, these small subconscious movements are largely genetic, but they can actually add up to hundreds of extra calories burned each day. And the second genetic component is something neither our calorie test nor our cameras can actually measure. It turns out, some brains produce an incredibly strong dopamine response to food that encourages you to keep eating and leaves you less full after a meal. In fact, by measuring this response, researchers can actually predict which children are most likely to become overweight later in life. So while each of our body types can for the most part be explained by calories in versus calories out, the reasons why some people overeat can be incredibly complex.
We used to previously struggle with addiction, so hard drugs. So that's something that we've always struggled with. And when we stopped doing that, we kind of leaned into food a lot more, replacing one with the other. So I think that's probably our unhealthiest habit that we have right now.
But luckily, there are powerful science-backed strategies that can be used for each body type. If you're starting out skinny, the only way your body is going to add muscle is if you allow it to gain weight. And the good news is, when you're lean, even just 5 pounds of muscle makes a huge visual difference. Take a look at my friend Brandon, for example, who put on 5 pounds of lean mass after I trained him for 100 days. And that's not all, because if you keep going, adding another 10 to 15 pounds can completely transform your physique like it did for me. And the training to get there doesn't need to take over your life. Even just 3 short, full body workouts per week focused around these 6 key movements is more than enough to make solid gains. If you're training hard and eating a fist size of protein at every meal, most of that weight gain should be muscle. But even if it does come with a little bit of fat gain, don't worry. Your body naturally leans down easier if you choose to do so later on. But for our skinny fat group, eating more calories to fuel muscle growth isn't actually going to be necessary.
What I would like to do with you is called a body recomposition.
This is where you lose fat and build muscle at the same time. Not everyone can do it, but those in the skinny fat group usually are the best candidates for it. But it does require 3 conditions to be met. Number 1 is hard resistance training. Most people get skinny fat or stay skinny fat either because they focus more on cardio rather than weights, or when they do lift weights, they just don't push hard enough to give their muscles a reason to grow.
Sometimes I get really tired, so I don't really push myself.
When I look at the cameras and he's working out by himself, he's kind of just like...
It's so painful.
For you, I would recommend like 3 just hard training sessions per week. Can be full body. You can still do Pilates, all the other fun stuff. You need that signal telling your body like, hey, I gotta keep onto this muscle, I gotta grow more.
And second is you need to pair this with a small calorie deficit, feeding your body just a bit less calories than it burns every day.
And now what your body's gonna do is it's gonna start using your fat for energy towards building muscle, right? So you get 2-for-1 deal.
When done properly, you should lose about half a pound to max 1 pound per week. But what's perhaps more important for this body type than others is eating a higher protein intake. There's some evidence it'll increase the odds that you build muscle while losing fat. And if you multiply your body weight in pounds by 0.8, that is a good minimum target to aim for every day. And here is an example of what following those 3 steps did for my brother-in-law Dayton and my friend Nicole. In a matter of months, they each dropped over 20 pounds of fat while building several pounds of muscle. But what if you're more experienced, like our bulky body types? Can you still lose fat while building muscle? Well, unfortunately, it's much harder to do, mainly because you have so much training experience and existing muscle. But that's also good news, because all you have to focus on is chiseling away the fat that's covering it up.
But I do think if you dial things in and we just work on correcting your diet, that we can easily get you to 15%, as quick as 3 to 4 months.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah. But it's all diet, dude.
Yeah.
Again, training is not the problem. You're good with that. Your activity is good. You burn a good amount of calories. It's all just going to be about dialing in the diet.
In fact, the one habit that separated our bulky subjects from our athletic subjects wasn't some special workout or training plan.
Properly tracking your food.
Yeah?
Yes, it's got to be on point. Weighing it is like the key.
Compared to Melody, Bailey was almost bang on with her prediction of how many calories she was actually eating. Now, you don't have to track forever, but for the best results, you need to be confident that you're actually eating about 400 to 700 calories less than your body needs per day, which for most people leads to about 1 to 2 pounds of weight loss per week.
We're going to hook you up with our app, and we do have an AI meal scanner. It works really well, and we updated it for like international foods.
Vietnamese food.
Yes,
Okay.
Vietnamese food.
Cool.
So try it out, scan it, let me
Okay.
know how that works, because it's going to make it way easier.
Meanwhile, for our high body fat group, while it may seem like they have the toughest road ahead of them, they actually do have some unique advantages.
You burn 3,379 calories per day.
I'm so jealous. Damn.
What?
You burn more calories than like professional athletes do.
Both Michelle and AJ have very high metabolisms, meaning they can lose fat while eating more than most of our other participants. And because they're starting with a high level of body fat, they can actually use a more aggressive deficit and lose weight faster, as much as 2 to 4 pounds per week without losing muscle. And while that may seem like an aggressive target, we can easily cut those calories with just a few easy swaps in their diet.
Maybe cutting down a little bit on the Kit Kat. We could find something else, There's really good protein bars nowadays. Even just like
oil.
Yeah.
Like, that was like a huge one. Using spray versus oil, that was like a massive change.
But there is one factor that applies to this body type more than any other group that we've covered, and that's having a clear why that's bigger than just how you look.
Yeah, I do want to have kids in the future, but I want to prep my body and be ready for that and be the healthiest version I can of myself. Me and my sister really want to time each other to have kids at the same time so we can have our kids grow up together, because that would be really special. Yeah.
I had an inflamed heart. They don't know what caused it. They don't know where it came from. So I went to the hospital and they thought I was gonna have a heart attack, but I wasn't. It kind of woke me up.
Now, while it takes some time to decide the one person I will be personally working with for the next year, I do want to give a big thank you to our subjects for putting themselves out there. I know it's not easy. And also give a huge thank you to Regen Recovery for supporting our DEXA scans. And I also made this table to summarize the exact training and diet I would recommend depending on which body type you're starting off with.
And that's exactly why we created the Built with Science Plus app. It's going to guide you every single week with the exact training and diet approach that your body needs to actually see progress. And you can try 2 weeks free over at builtwithscience.com or by scanning this QR code right here.
And after speaking with all 18 of our incredible participants about their goals and struggles, the one person I am going to be working with for the next 365 days is...
I would love to personally work with you one-on-one throughout this. I would love to. I would love to. If you're down. If you're down.
Totally
you
down.
myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
you got my word.
Yeah.
Like, actually, yeah.
This is my. This is my rose. If you'll accept my rose.
I will absolutely. Thank you.
Let's go.